Look like it's the rocket ship countdown here.
4, T minus 3. Oh boy.
All right. Well, yeah. So here we are. We're live now on YouTube, recording this as well, and um, just here talking to the title of today's topic is scaling smartly, fixing marketing inefficiencies for sustainable growth. And this is our lunch and learn topic today. Um, Lunch and Learn is a conversation where we empower small business owners with strategies to amplify marketing efforts and their growth potential. Um, and so today's question to think about and to ponder is: are your current marketing operations set up to scale sustainably, or are inefficiencies holding you back?
Hmm.
Yeah. So here's a quick overview of what we'll be talking about. We're going to look at identifying how inefficiencies hinder your growth, how to monitor resources, your team performance, and ROI, tools and strategies to streamline marketing efforts, and so the first question here: if growth is your goal, are your operations ready to help you scale, or will they slow you down?
Hmm.
So that's where we're at. Um, so first off, we'll talk a little bit about what it's costing, what the cost of inefficiency is in marketing, and what all that entails, I guess. So um, some examples of marketing operational inefficiencies might be redundant processes. You're performing the same function multiple times, maybe slightly different ways, but ultimately the same outcome. You're not tracking data. Your use of tools, generally speaking, is inefficient. Um, all of those things can drain your time, drain your money, and your morale, right? So I'm sure all of us have been in a situation where we're just kind of pulling our hair out, which is why I'm mostly bald right now. And having struggles over our marketing, right? Um, so Carisa is here joining us through Reliable, and I'm going to ask I'm going to ask her a question. Have you experienced the pain of a marketing campaign falling flat?
So I have not. My
Okay.
business is very new. I started my
Okay.
business about 2 months ago, and so I haven't gotten to the point of marketing having a marketing campaign yet. I'm still in the stage where I'm actually trying to learn how to market my business.
Fair
Okay.
enough. Fair enough.
So you can't really say that you have any systems or processes in place yet. You're really still figuring it out, starting to create them and figure out maybe what works and what doesn't work.
Right.
All right. Okay.
You're steps ahead of a lot of other business owners who start a business and don't consider systems and processes first. So
Right.
yeah, hopefully, you're trying to start things the right way, right? On the right foot. So that's a good idea.
Thank you. I'm
Absolutely.
Um,
trying. I'm trying.
yeah. Okay, so there's a guy named an author named James Clear, and he had this famous quotation: you do not rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems." And so what did he mean by that? Simone, have you heard that before?
I have heard that, and I believe it's true because we can have very lofty goals and have the best intentions to meet them. But if we don't put systems in place, we don't develop the habits that it takes to actually get to those goals, well, then we don't meet the goals, right? I actually um, My friends and I, we were reading James Clear's book. His book is called Atomic Habits. We were reading his book recently, and in his book, he talks about how everybody everybody who's in the Olympics, like say everybody, all of the people who want to win a gymnastics trophy, they all have the same goal. They all want that gold medal, right? But because some people have better systems and processes for how they get better and better and better, and how they perform, they actually get the gold, and others end up with, not that silver or bronze are to be sneezed at all, because I couldn't make that, right? but um, but they don't hit that level. They all have the same goal, but they don't all get reach the goal. And it's not because, so the goal itself is not the thing that's the most important. It's really your systems and your processes that you put in place to continually help you to get towards that goal, to help you to get that 1% better every day, that actually helps you to reach that goal.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty much it. It's it's funny, you know, just having a repeatable, predictable system in place,
Mhm.
what kind of an effect that can have overall. There's a course that I took not too long ago. It's one of the most famous, most popular courses on Coursera. It's called Learning How to Learn. And the whole thing is built on the processes and knowing how, you know, the brain functions, you know, when you're acquiring new knowledge. And if you have these steps that you follow, then you are more likely to gain knowledge, permanent knowledge, more quickly than you would if you were kind of just kind of haphazardly hoping for the best. Unfortunately, in our education system, they don't really teach us this, you know, how to learn. They're just kind of like, you know, teaching us the stuff, and we're just supposed to figure out how to retain it. But there's
Right.
actually systems that you can use, processes that you can use to help you improve the likelihood that you're going to retain something. So
Absolutely.
yeah,
You know, there are a lot of, and Carissa, as you're on your entrepreneurial journey, you will come across a lot of gurus who tell you that, you know, creating your vision board is the thing. Making sure you have that goal and you know, you have that goal in front of you is the thing to do. And those things are good. It is good to, you know, to see your vision. But even more important than that, the vision sets out your direction, right? It tells you, okay, if I'm getting in my car and I want to head towards Los Angeles, you know, I need to put that into my GPS. That's my goal. That's my direction. But if I don't actually, you know, have gas in the car, and my car isn't in good maintenance, and I'm not on the right highway, then I'm never going to reach that goal. I'm never going to get to LA, right? So it's putting those processes and those systems in place as you go that actually help you get to your goal.
So it's like having your destination, but you have to take the steps to get there, right?
Absolutely.
And then
Absolutely.
yeah,
there has to be consistency also with the steps that you take, right? So for me,
Yes.
yeah,
right now it's about trying to find a process that works, and a process that it's that's consistent that I can stick to, right? So I can,
Absolutely.
yeah,
yeah,
You know,
yeah. You
there's
don't
going
want
to be a
to.
lot of trial and error. There is going to be some
Yeah,
things that you try that just don't work,
right.
and and you have to table it and then try something else that, you know, and something else may work. But document your processes as you go. Create those standard operating procedures, right? So that ultimately you have a system. When you have a system that works, then you can then um, leverage other people's talents and their time. You can hand them a system that works, that you know works, and you can work on higher level things in your business.
Yeah, and if you're, especially in your situation, Carisa, if you are dealing with multiple entrepreneurs that you are helping as a virtual assistant, you're going to be juggling a lot of tasks.
Right.
It's going to be very project, you're going to have to be very stringent about your, project management and making sure that you're keeping things separated and keeping on track with everything. You're definitely going to need systems, I would think,
Yeah,
to help you
absolutely.
stay sane. Uh, um, but
Yeah.
here I'm gonna drop this link here. This is a marketing audit checklist. And I'm gonna share my screen. We'll go over this real quick. I know that you're new, so you might not have stuff, but as you go along in your journey, you might want to refer back to this
Right.
to help. So if we look here, this is a marketing audit checklist. So this checklist is designed to facilitate a comprehensive audit of your marketing campaigns or processes by evaluating what's working, identifying areas for improvement, and outlining actionable steps you can enhance your marketing effectiveness and drive better results. So here, what you do is you take a campaign or a process that you may have, and then you're going to evaluate the performance of that campaign or process. And I've given you some different ideas to look at, some areas here. So your goals and objectives, the target audience, messaging and positioning, content strategy, channel strategy, campaign execution, lead generation, nurturing, conversion rate optimization, measurement and analytics, and budget and ROI. And then, you can feel free to make a copy of this, just make a copy. This is a Google Doc. But I've kind of filled this in already with some suggestions, what's working in case of your goals and objectives, which Simone and I had a conversation here a couple months ago about goals and objectives. It being January, it makes kind of sense, right?
Right.
Getting started on the right foot, right?
Absolutely.
So what's working? So do you have clearly defined goals? Are they aligned with your overall business objectives, right? Or are they unclear or unrealistic goals? Is there misalignment with your business objectives? In which case, you might want to look into revisiting and refining those goals and making sure that they align with the business strategy. And so just in lieu of going through all these, we go down here to I guess this checklist in general is sort of like, in a way, you can look at it as a system in itself, right, and a process in itself of evaluation, right?
Yeah, before you
And
go too far,
yeah,
can we talk a little bit in the light of your advice to Carisa,
yeah,
that target market? Um, it may be a good idea to niche down into a particular type of business that you help. And in that way, you can standardize some of your processes
Mm.
and be able um, to template a lot of what you do
yeah,
and so that, what works for one business will work for the next one, and work for the next one, and work for the
right,
next one. So say you're working for your niche market or is travel agencies, right?
Right.
Generally they're going to need the same things. Or if you're working for I don't know, coaches
lawyers,
or consultants or lawyers or
yeah,
doctors, right?
yeah,
you
Right.
know um Generally they're all going to need the same types of services, and in that way it helps you to create those systems that much faster and easier, because you're they generally are going to need the same thing.
yeah,
So it helps you to put in place templates and systems that work for
yeah.
all of your clients,
And
you know.
going along with that, then your messaging and positioning are going to be incredibly important because, frankly, VAs are a dime a dozen, especially on Alignable. There's a lot. Okay. I'm just going to be realistic. So the question is then, how do you stand out? What makes you different?
Mhm.
Why should they choose you? So
Right.
that's where this is important. Creating compelling messaging. You have clear positioning. It's resonating with your target audience. So there's the concept of, being an inch wide and going a mile deep, right? And really digging in on a particular, industry or particular, that's really your target, right?
Mhm.
Um, and you know everything about them. You know what keeps them up at night, and you know how to solve their problems. And so everything you talk about is going to be about that, right? And then
Right.
Yeah.
and they're going to hear that, they're going to see that, and they're going to be like, oh my gosh, this she gets it. I'm going to work with her. So
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So like, yeah. So like, what if like your positioning statement would be something like, um, as a virtual assistant to chiropractors. I know chiropractors really well. I know what you need. I know what makes you tick. Whereas other VAs are trying to work for every company that just happens to have money to throw at them. I know you well. And and so I'm the one to help you because I work only for chiropractors, that kind of thing.
Right.
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 And that makes you unique.
And there's not many. I would venture to guess that there's not many VAs out there who are really doing that. Really
Mhm.
saying this is who I serve, and you should work with me because I know everything that there is to know about what you need. So
Yeah.
Right?
And that's a good point. I can see that, especially when you are niche down and you have a specialty, then you know that this their pain points, right? And you're able to
yeah,
address
Mhm.
those and get ahead of that. Yeah.
Yeah. You'll
That's
even
great.
learn their internal language, right? Because
Right.
every industry has its own language.
Yeah. That's
Yeah,
so
you
I
can speak to
I
them in their language. Wow, that'd be
yeah,
amazing.
exactly. So I encourage you, take some time, go through this, look at the different areas for evaluation, and feel free to add, as needed. These are just kind of suggestions for right now, but there's definitely things that you should take into consideration. I wouldn't remove them from the list if I were you, but feel free to add more if you have other areas that you need to evaluate.
Thank you,
Um,
Nate.
no problem, no problem. All right, so let's keep rolling here. So now we've identified all the cracks and inefficiencies. Actually, do you want to identify some cracks and inefficiencies, Carisa?
Uh, well,
It,
so in all honesty, I'm sure there are some, right?
okay.
Again, I'm just really, for me, just trying to grow my business. That's the biggest thing
Yeah,
for me, right? Just getting clients for me right now.
yeah,
Just trying to, figure out how to market. And,
yeah,
I know that in order when I'm marketing, I have to, if people don't know what you're doing, right, they're not going to come to you, right? So then how do I expand my reach to let people know what I'm doing?
yeah,
That's one of the things that I'm trying
Yeah,
to
so
figure
you're
out.
you're still
so
at the beginning. There's still a lot
yeah,
to get through before you get to a lot of
yeah.
these inefficiencies and things.
Mhm.
Is anything right now, is anything working for you, working well?
So far, as far as how I have been getting clients, it's been word of mouth. Just kind of, word of mouth marketing. But and that's working. I am working on I am putting systems in place. Um, but I'm still working through it.
Yeah. That the word of mouth is coming from like past or current clients or
So yeah, it's current clients that I have and people I've worked with in the past, clients I've worked with in the past. So yeah.
well, it sounds like you must be doing something right there then if they're willing to refer you to others.
Yeah,
Yes, thank you.
that's a blessing.
Yep. Yep. That's good.
Awesome.
What do you think you want to fix or need to fix?
Um, so I think, one of the things I think I need to be able to fix, and this is me being transparent, is me is for me, I'm an introvert. And so I don't like talking to people. And so, excuse me. And so even when I go to networking events, I'm that person that's kind of off in the corner and I'm not like out, talking to people. If I can fix something, um, it would be my ability to be more comfortable with networking.
Yeah.
Can I offer a suggestion?
Oh, absolutely.
So, being an introvert is not necessarily something I think you need to fix. However, there is something that you can do to draw the extroverts to you. Um, like wear something stunning or wear an offbeat hat or a giant flower or a conversation starter
Mhm.
that will draw people to you in these networking events. And in that way, and then be ready to talk to them when they approach. That's one way that introverts uh, can get can maximize their time at these networking events where there's all these people and people are talking and they feel like everybody knows everybody except for me, because I've been there, right?
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah.
and you just feel kind of left alone in the corner, just me and my lemonade. um and so, but like if you like wear interesting shoes or a big hat, or like I used to have this, I still have it, it's in the closet somewhere. I have this pink hat um that I'd wear every so often, and people would just walk up to me and go, "Wow, I love your hat, that's fantastic, where did you get that?" And next thing you know, we're in conversation. So yeah, if you do something like that, that will draw the extroverts to you. That will draw people to you to have to start conversations. But as you can see on my frame right here, I'm all about marketing and business automation.
Mhm.
Being an introvert and not wanting to like go out and talk to people face to face sometimes, I love automation. So these days I'm actually getting into ads and posting, running ads on Facebook and Instagram. And there are even with automation, there are ways where you're putting yourself out there and waiting for people to kind of bite. um, but then there's also ways where you spread the word, and they come to you. You're telling a lot of people where who you are and what you do,
Right.
and they raise their hand and say, "Hey, I'm interested," and then you bring them in through a funnel or through something like this, like we're on YouTube, and people find you on YouTube or they find you on social media, that kind of thing. It
Wow.
it helps to it helps to get more attention, to garner more attention, without necessarily doing the things that make it hard for an introvert.
Right.
Anywho, Nate, you wanted to say something?
No, I was just going to say, Simone is taking the idea of standing out in people's minds literally. In this case, that's one of the key functions of marketing, right? Is to just be different and have people remember you. I mean, this
Hmm.
is like the case in point, right? Putting it into action in the physical world, I guess. Um,
Absolutely.
but the question
It works.
is,
It really does work.
well, yeah, I have no doubt. The question
I
is though,
mean,
once people come to you and they start talking to you, what do you do with that?
now
Do
you
you
have to be
have a
ready.
system? Do you have a system in place to follow up with them, for example, to keep in touch with them, et cetera, et cetera? So
Hmm.
that's where having a system right there would be very important.
Absolutely. Yeah, because
So
what a lot of people don't do is that they will go out to, you take all the effort, you get dressed up and you're in an outfit that will draw people to you. And now you have these conversations and you meet some people who would make maybe good referral partners, maybe good strategic partners, or maybe they are like they seem like the perfect client for you. But if you don't have a mechanism for following up and you let
Mhm.
too much time pass, well, now you've lost that opportunity. So
yeah,
um, definitely, you definitely want to have a system in place for follow up
and
because it takes too
yeah,
much out of you to even get there
Right.
to have
mhm,
these conversations and then to just
yeah.
let it go, right?
So let me
And
ask you a question. So when we follow up, so what's an adequate amount of time to follow up, right? What's that too soon, or how much time should you allow between the time you meet somebody and the time you follow up with them?
so I, you're going to be able to find lots of different things here on this topic. I have heard that anywhere. Okay, so at any given time, it doesn't matter what you're trying to sell, right? Only 3 to 5% of the people in that market are ready to buy at any given
Mhm.
time. So keeping that in mind is very important. Okay. Um, More than likely, if you're meeting people at a networking event, they're not going to buy something from you at the networking event, right?
Right.
But if they are at that in that 3 to 5% window, then you have maybe 48 hours to convert them,
Hmm.
right? Anything after that, it's going to be 6 months, if ever. Um, so um, I have heard that following up a minimum of 5 times is the key number. 90% of sales people drop out after the first follow up. So uh, if you make it to five, then you vastly increase the chances that you're going to make the conversion. Um, and for those that are not ready to buy, then having a longer term approach, nurturing would be key there, right?
So is
And
that
there's
number
ways.
is
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
no, that's okay. So is that number 5 times, right? The 5 time follow up, is that so that you can stay on top of mind? Is that the objective?
Yes,
Yes,
exactly. That's what it is. And
Okay.
absolutely.
spacing those out 2 to 3 days is a good idea.
Okay.
And
I
it
would
needs to
say
be a
the first
mix.
one, like the first follow-up should
Yeah,
probably be the next day, to say
yeah,
it was great meeting you and
yeah,
I'd love to stay in touch,
yeah.
maybe try and get them to a meeting, 15, 30 minutes where you're not trying to sell them anything, you're just trying to get to know each other better.
Hmm. Okay.
I have a thing where I use an app, I scan a business card. As soon as I
Mhm.
scan that business card, it gets tagged and then sent to my CRM with an immediate email that says, "Great to meet you today. Let's stay in touch."
Yeah,
And then from there, I put them into a follow-up sequence. So
yeah,
they immediately get an email from me. So
yeah. I have a system set up where um, I can scan their cards and come into my CRM and I can decide which tag I want to put on them. So I can tag them to follow up either an hour after I meet them or the next day. So, but either way, they end up in a follow-up sequence and they're going to get several communications from me.
Oh, wow. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
having those segments in mind, this one is a prospect. They could be a potential customer. This one is a good referral partner. This one is, you know what I mean? And having in mind what the goal is in the conversation, and then therefore what the follow-up is going to look like afterwards is going to be important.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's all part of the system, right? Having a system about that.
Right.
So
Yeah.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
That's good stuff.
yeah. You could
Yeah.
even have a system for the things you talk about. So, for example, have you ever heard of the Ford system, FORD? Uh, friends friends or family, occupation, recreation, and dreams.
Mm.
If that helps you stay on task, and these are the things that we're talking about, and then also having a goal in mind. I want to steer the conversation this way because I think they could be this potential they could fit in this potential silo. You know what I mean? I mean, it kind of sounds like cold and calculated to some degree, but it's so you can be more efficient and
Right.
focus and get some positive outcomes out of the whole effort. If you're going to put that much energy into it, being an introvert, you better get something out of it, right?
Yes.
So,
Right.
yeah,
Yeah. And some people, I've had some people say, oh, this is an automated message, isn't it? Yeah, it's an automated message, but it's a thought out message that I planned ahead of time to make sure that you got the right message at the right time. And that my communication is makes sense to you at the proper moment, at the proper time.
yeah,
So just even an automated message can still feel personal.
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, now that we solved that,
Hey, look
um,
at us, entrepreneurs solving problems.
so next up, we look at monitoring what you're doing for scalability, right? This is great segue here, I guess.
Yeah, because
Are
what
you
we
are
just
you
talked
putting,
about helps you to
yeah,
scale.
yeah,
What
are
if you
you,
met 15 people or
yeah,
30 people at a networking event, and it's hard for you to remember to follow up with all of them, and all of that
Hmm.
stuff. You put them into a CRM
yeah,
and let the
yeah,
CRM handle your follow-ups, and you put them into different buckets as you're adding them to your CRM.
Right.
yep,
It's very helpful. That's scalable.
Right.
yep, yep. So that resource allocation, putting your money, your time, your effort into high impact um, campaigns or um, uh, I guess processes, things that you're actually doing in order to have the most impact, right?
Mhm.
Segmenting your contacts that you're making at networking events, I think is high impact, necessary type of thing, right?
Hmm.
So it's worth investing in something and making that happen,
Right.
and making it clean and simple and easy, and um,
Absolutely.
you're not working with a team necessarily, but having everyone aligned with those processes would be key, if you ever got to that point. Um, and then tracking your return, right? If you're putting them into a CRM, you have them segmented. Having a pipeline built in that CRM would be crucial there, right? That way you're actually following, there's definite steps um, that you're following with that
Right.
contact. And then that way you can also look back and say, okay, I made this contact here at this event, and out of this event, I got X number of contacts that proved to be, valuable. So,
Yeah. Oh yeah. That'll help you decide if the different events you're going to, like which ones are the best ones.
right. Yeah.
Right.
That helps you
Which
to
ones am I going to wear myself out visiting, like,
right, right. Which ones do I just need to take off my calendar altogether
yeah,
because,
yeah.
I'm seeing the same people over and over again and nobody's really that interested,
Right. Right.
you know?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. Um, so, um, yeah, I guess, any, anytime that you are, any stumbling blocks that appear along the way that prevent that scalability, if there's too much manual intervention on your part, that's the type of thing that you need to look into, and strongly consider automating. If it's a repetitive, um, task that is the same thing over and over again, especially, that's where automation excels.
Hmm.
Yeah. By the way, let me ask you, do you know what CRM stands for?
Yeah, it's customer relation management, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Customer
Yeah.
relationship manager. Yeah, I wanted to make sure because we're throwing these words out
Yeah.
and sometimes I forget sometimes that in our industry it can be seen well for our industry it's a normal word, but for others it could be seen as jargon and
Mhm.
Yeah.
and we may need to stop and define it.
Right.
So, okay, great. So yeah, that's one of the best tools to use when it comes to streamlining and keeping track of your leads and people that you meet, automating tasks that you're doing over and over and over again. It's like, you know what? There's got to be a way to automate this, right? It's
Yes.
taking up too much of my time, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then when you have a team, keeping your team organized. In some CRMs, you can even assign certain leads or certain clients to certain team members, and they keep track of them and do the meetings with them, and basically manage their accounts. Um, so yeah, there's AI tools
Mm-hmm.
that that can be used. I've been doing a challenge for the past month or so, and I've been talking about some of the AI tools, and I learned about a couple of AI tools for, especially for writing. There's a tool called Write Sonic that I liked. Um, there's a Chat GPT. We all know about Chat GPT,
Yeah.
right? They kind of burst on the scene with their from OpenAI, and gave us regular people access to create with AI and create and made APIs available that companies can use to create their own AI systems.
Right.
Um, so I've been talking about a system called Notebook LM.
Mm-hmm.
Notebook LM is built by Google. It runs on Gemini. Gemini is like Google's answer to ChatGPT, and it's great for research, but it's also great for creating content based on other content.
Right.
So, say you say you watched a YouTube video that's like that's 2 or 3 hours long, and but it explains in great detail something, and you want to distill that down into bite-sized chunks that you can glean something out of. You can link it up into Notebook LM and then ask it questions like,
Mm-hmm.
what does this video say about this particular thing? I actually had to do that recently. So this guy did this long, he did a 4-hour masterclass in one YouTube video. And I wanted to find this one particular thing that he said, because I did watch the whole thing, because I wanted to learn his whole framework. Um, but then I wanted to go back to the video and find the one particular thing. And I thought, my goodness, how am I going to find it in this whole 4 hour 4 hour masterclass? So I thought, Notebook LM, put it in Notebook LM and ask Notebook LM to find it. And it did. So yeah, there's great tools for just simplifying your life and streamlining, um,
Ca-
analytics
Carisa,
tools.
yeah.
Go ahead.
Carisa, let me ask you a question. Now that Simone has said that, are you feeling intimidated? Are you feeling like AI is coming for my job, being a VA?
No, not at all. And I know for a fact, right? So, what I do know is the people that don't use AI that's going to have to be worried, right? Not the people that use it. You have to know how to use it. And so for me, I am not threatened by AI at all. I don't think it's coming for my job. It actually helps
Do
me to
you,
do my job more efficiently.
Oh,
that's what I was going to ask.
fantastic.
Yeah. So you're using AI and not, yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
there's a lot of
Yeah.
business owners out there that need your help setting that up in their business and,
Yeah, I even used
making it
AI
work for them.
yesterday. I used Notebook LM because it was with Google, and I used it yesterday. I just kind of I threw something into there. It was like For me, it was some notes that I had, and it created a whole conversation around the notes that I had. So now,
Yeah.
and it was actually pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
Amazing.
I love that feature. It's
Mhm.
fantastic. So yeah, it's yeah, having these tools. Yeah, I think the people who are afraid of AI are the ones who are afraid to like get in there, get their hands dirty, and actually start using it.
Yep.
And I always feel like the people who we don't have to be afraid of the machines coming from our for our jobs if we learn how to control the machines.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
Yes.
they said the same thing about the calculator, but can you imagine, like, I always say, can you imagine trying to build a house without a hammer, right? A hammer is a tool that makes the
it's a
Hmm.
job
tool.
simpler, faster. It augments the human capabilities,
Yeah.
it's not really that different, honestly.
Right.
But
Yeah. AI is just basically a new tool that we have to do our
exactly.
jobs, right?
That's
That's
right.
it.
Yeah,
That's right.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Just to be
Okay.
faster and
So
stronger.
are you using CRM currently?
So I am using a CRM, but so and I know I'm not using it to its full capability. When we talk about automations and stuff like that, I know that there are processes that can be automated. I'm still trying to learn that part,
Yeah.
right? How do I make these things connect?
Oh,
What can I ask what the CRM is?
Yeah, so the CRM that I use right now is HoneyBook.
Okay.
okay. I've heard of that.
Yeah.
Yep. That's pretty popular for freelancers and VAs, I think. It's kind of like a all-in-one CRM billing system, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
Yeah.
yeah, it is.
Proposal creation and that kind of thing. Yeah.
Yep, it
Mm,
does. So yeah, it does all that. And I know, for someone that's just getting started and with a small, I don't need anything that's really robust. So and
Yeah.
it's easy to use, but I would love to get a handle on automation.
okay.
Yeah. Um, so yeah, that's good. You're definitely, I think you're definitely on the right track, equipping yourself with the right tools here. Um,
Absolutely.
the whole idea, trying to eliminate those repetitive tasks that are going to cost you time,
Right.
which is money, right? So,
Yes.
um, I guess we got 5 more minutes here. The next thing we'll be looking at is how to align what you're doing, your campaigns with the business goals. So in your case, if you're doing networking events, having a campaign, an automated campaign would be ideal, built into your CRM. You put people in there, you tag them, turns on the campaign depending on how you've segmented them, right? Having a goal in mind again, is going to be key, is going to be crucial there. And you know, but well, let me ask you: do you have business goals currently?
Yes, I do.
Okay, good.
I
So,
would imagine like an immediate goal is to get more clients, right?
That is definitely an immediate goal. Yeah.
Yeah. So
yeah,
then most of your activity would be towards that front end of attracting as many leads as possible.
Right.
So
So
yeah.
yeah. So, as far as just working on my presence, right, my social media presence, those kind of things, that's an immediate goal because that would take me to the next step of actually attracting more clients.
Mhm.
Yeah.
are you focused on any particular, like, who is your ideal customer target market?
So my ideal customer, so my ideal customer is the overwhelmed, stressed, a small business owner. That's my ideal customer, someone that needs
Okay.
someone that's overwhelmed and stressed and short on time and have juggling a lot of balls, right? And they don't want to drop any, and so they need to outsource their stuff. That's my ideal customer.
Okay.
Are there, I mean, do you have experience in any particular industry that would kind of give you an edge over other VAs that are doing something similar?
Yes, so I do have experience in the nonprofit space, and extensive experience in manufacturing as well.
Okay. So you might want to consider only targeting those.
Mhm.
It sounds counterintuitive because it sounds like you're limiting yourself, but in
Mm-hmm.
reality, what ends up happening is you become laser focused. Like I said, inch wide, mile deep. You become laser focused on just those industries, and you start talking only to those people that in those
Yeah.
industries, and
Mm-hmm.
people are like, she understands me because she's only talking to people like me. You
Right.
know,
Right. You're
if you
like a
try to talk to
cardiac surgeon, you're a
everybody,
specialist,
yeah,
right? So then they know to come to you because you're a specialist, right? You're not a generalist, right? If I have a brain injury, I'm going to a neurosurgeon. I'm not going to just any surgeon out there. I'm going. So then you're going to end up targeting people who have specific problems, who need a specific solution, and they're going to look for the person. Two VAs are presented to them. Oh, which one do I go with? One says, I work with all stressed out business owners. And the other one says, I work with stressed out neurosurgeons, right?
Right.
yeah,
Or
Right.
I work with stressed out
yeah,
construction contractor owners or
yeah,
whatever. Um, and and I speak their language and I understand what their businesses need.
Mm-hmm.
And as that person, I'm going to go, oh well, she knows me, so let me go to her,
yeah.
right?
And you were talking about your social marketing, right? So that becomes the content for the campaign, right?
Mm.
You're only talking about that.
Right.
Yeah.
So that helps you because it limits. You sit there and you're like, oh my gosh, what am I going to post about today? Well,
Mm-hmm.
you'll never have that because you'll know exactly what you're talking about.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
You just talk about the same thing over and over again. That's pretty much all it is.
That
uh,
makes sense. So
yeah.
then, so when I market, then I'm marketing specifically towards nonprofit or
Yes.
whoever my client is,
Exactly.
right? Yeah, I got you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I have a prompt that I believe will help you. I'm pulling it up now. Um, but go ahead with the conversation while I pull this up because it's going to take me a
Well,
minute. I have to log in.
the question to ask yourself here, does every campaign you run serve a direct purpose in helping your business grow, or is it just noise? Okay. Are you just doing it just because? So there needs to be a reason behind it. When you go to my website, the first thing you see is no more random acts of marketing. There's a reason. There's a reason for everything. Why you're doing everything.
Right.
Um, and so we're we're near the end anyway, so we gotta wrap it up here. I know Simone's looking for something. She's gonna give that to you. Just to tie everything together, let's do a little summary here. So we talked about how inefficiencies slow down your growth. So taking a look at your workflows, there she just posted in the chat. Look at your
Yeah.
workflows, your processes, and your tools that you're using. Um, are they helping? Are they helping you reach your goals? Um, Monitoring those things is crucial. Making sure that you're allocating your resources to the things that are bringing you the most return, right?
Absolutely.
Especially if your resource is your energy, being an introvert. I totally understand that. Um, Tracking the ROI on all those, is key. Use the right tools. CRM, automation, analytics, and then aligning your campaign with your business goals. So that's the discussion. So if you need further assistance or you want to bounce some ideas off of either one of us, feel free to reach out. Um, yeah, that's pretty much all I got. Anything else, Simone?
That's it. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you for watching. For you on who are watching this on YouTube, be sure to help us with the algorithm, like, subscribe, comment. Tell us your pain points and where you need to improve as far to help you to scale, and we can help you with that. And what's your biggest takeaway from this episode? And be sure to come back and see us next Tuesday. We'll be here.
Bring a friend.
Thanks for coming. Yeah, bring a friend. Bring a friend. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.